Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes with Marvin. I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. Welcome. It's January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year. And it happens to be 60 degrees here in the Northeast in the state of Virginia. And I hear there's a warming trend somewhere in the state. We had the cyclone thing uh, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, right? And you may wondering, well, what are your thoughts, Marvin? Do you think it's global warming, or do you think, like the truther community says that it's HARP, the NASA weather manipulation, right? Or is it just coincidence, right? Or is it just something that happens, right? That we've had, warming trends before. We have cold trends before. There's history to it. And my answer to that is, for me, it's none of the above. I'm enjoying this beautiful day. I took a nice long walk, grounded, enjoying the sun, taking in the vitamin D, and really not concerned about whether it's global warming or if it's the weather manipulation, right? Because energy goes where your attention flows, right? So if I'm paying attention to those things, whether they're true or not, then I'm giving that my control. When in fact, there's nothing I can do to control it anyway. So why would I allow those thoughts to come into my mind and distract me from my purpose, right? Whether you believe that nothing's happening in this world, everything's peachy keen and everything's fine, or you're going down rabbit holes and questioning everything, right? I've done both, and I'm doing both. There's nothing we can do to control that or control anything outside of our world. And it's not about not getting involved, right? There's obviously things, if you take up a cause, then you get behind it and you take whatever action, right? But if, from my perspective, I am taking action. I am controlling my world. What I can control in my world. I can control that I'm sitting here enjoying this sun, keeping my vibrations really high. Because the minute I start going, global warming, HARP, global warming, HARP, all of a sudden my attention's over there, over here. It's not here. Centered, right? How do you stay centered with everything that's going on, right? Not with just the news and the media and the global situation and the political situation, but your home, right? Your home life. When if you have two kids and they're warring and they're screaming at each other, how do you stay centered, right? And try to calm the situation. You can't control it. You can calm it. How do you do that? First, you have to take your control of yourself first and believe that you can. We can intend to experience anything we wish to experience, right? And anything outside of that, anybody else in those experiences, they're having their own unique experience in their world. We're in the same area, but we're in separate worlds. And that goes with differences of opinions and who's right and who's wrong. I've said this many times. There is no right or wrong. What I think is right to me is right to me, and what you think is right to you is right to you. And we can sit here and talk, but if you're looking to debate me about it, you're not going to get a debate, because you're not wrong to you, and I'm not wrong to me. I've had a few instances of that in my life recently. And at first I started to get triggered, right? Somebody said that I was closed-minded. And in a moment, I almost reacted to it, right? It's like, what, are you kidding me? I go down all these rabbit holes. I know things and I research things, right? I started going down that road in my head. Then I realized this is their experience they're having, right? They're choosing to have whatever it is. If they're looking to banter and to drag me into something that I don't want to be a part of, I I have to respond, not react. So in that instance, I just responded, "Hey, that's good. That's your truth. But if that's what you think, it's your thought, right? You're trying to judge me, but I don't accept that, and I don't receive it, and it's not my truth." And I left it at that. Whether they accept that or not doesn't matter. It's my truth. I don't need to argue about it. Don't need to explain it to you. But I also will set a boundary when somebody's trying to goat me into a situation or to judge me. I don't have to defend myself. I just hold my boundary. That's your truth. You can think all you want. It's not my truth. Now you're thinking, how is that possible, right? How can you just stay there and not hold your ground? And right there it is, right? As soon as you do that, feel that anger, right? There's no justification for that anger, because if I respond or react with anger, then I'm adding fuel to that fire, and that fire is going to grow, right? Because when you add fuel to fire, it ignites it. And what happens when you throw water on it? Yeah, you douse it temporarily, but it could spark somewhere else if you didn't get it all, right? So why even go down that road? Why fuel the fire, and why throw water on it to try to douse it, to prove that I'm right? Don't have to do that at all. I can remain neutral. And from my perspective, I can walk right through the fire and not allow it to burn me. It's my intention. That's what I choose to experience. And you can too. You can. It's time to go deep. We're in 2023 now, and there are a lot of things that are happening, whether we choose to see them or not, or what side we're on this whole thing, right? That's not important. It's make sure that whatever you're projecting out there and putting out there, it's energy, right? Make sure it's authentically you, and that it's not about judging anybody else or being superior to anybody else, or I'm spiritual and you're religious so we can't get along. That has nothing to do with it. That's not being centered. That's being egotistic, right? Spirituality is not about being egotistical. It's not about judging other people. It's not about fighting with anybody. Now, there are a lot of people out there, and I listen to some of these people that, stand your ground. We have to fight. This is a spiritual war. I agree. But in this spiritual war, and how we come out on top, right? Stay on top, is not to fight it with words or with weapons or with anger or with fear or anything like that, or the ammunition. It's with love. It's love. The spiritual war is about showing love, shining love and light. That's it. You know why that's effective? Because any lower vibrational energies, whatever, call it Satan, call it demonic, entities, serpents, reptilians, low vibrations, whatever term you're using, right? And those are all judgments, by the way. They're just other frequencies, right? The lower frequency does not want higher vibrations shown on them, right? They don't. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, they're gonna fight it every time. They want you to come down to their level so they can control you. Whatever it's, whether it be a situation, whether it be a person, whether it be a political party, religious leaders, brothers and sisters, children. It doesn't matter how it comes at you. It's just an energy, and you have energy too. Now you can either fight fire with fire, eye for an eye, which is what it wants, right? Because then it's got you. You start going this way, they're like, "Ooh, got you. Let me drag you down the rabbit hole with me and keep you angry and keep you, upset and crying and sad and feeling worthless and judging." But you can control that situation. You can control it. You have the power. 2023 is, when you add the numbers up in numerology, is the number 7, which is divinity, right? Blessings. Last year, 2022, was the number 6, which is a year of revelation. And for those people who were paying attention, a lot was revealed. And again, whether you think it is or not, it's irrelevant. But there were a lot of things that happened in that were revealed in 2022. Now we're in the process of, now we're in blessings. Right now it's not to judge what 2022 brought or revealed. It's to shine light on it, because I do see it now and I love it. I'm sending it love. I do not participate with it. I don't lower my frequencies to it, but I have to see that there is lower vibrational frequency that's trying to attack me, right? That's what they do. And it's trying to do it subconsciously, through the television, through the radios, through the commercials, through the media, through social media, everywhere you turn. Signs, billboards, the foods, right? The processed foods, the racism, all of that, everything. That's all just low vibrations coming at you. It's how you react and respond to each and every single one of them that determines where you are and how centered you truly are. So you have to see it, right? Because if you don't know it exists, how can you stand in your sovereignty? I can put a force field of protection around me all day long and watch things bounce off of me, right? But there are some things that see that, right? And they find ways to penetrate your force field. But most of these are from subconscious programmings, learned behaviors that you have to start identifying more every single time and deciding in the moment to shift those. Man, I didn't realize I was doing that. That's why that situation keeps happening to me, because I'm just doing this out of, I always did it, never questioned it. Now that I see it clearly, that keeps me in this cycle, right? You have to see it. Don't label it negative vibration. It's my childhood trauma. It's my abusive parents or my sexually abusive uncle, whatever it was, right? Just, it's time to unlock it, right? Because we keep those things suppressed. Cry it out, feel it, go to a psychiatrist or a coach or whomever you need to, right? You need to bring those things up and out, see it clearly, and decide, I choose not to be a victim to that anymore, or to allow it to keep me under control from other entities, other vibrations. I just say, hey, I see it, I love you, I heal you, release you, and anything that comes from you will come at me. Now I see it. Now I can decide in the moment how I'm going to respond to it. Now, you can respond to it like you always did, but where did that get you? Think about those things now. Instead of reacting like you normally would, always take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath and go, okay, I've been here before. These are my choices. What do I choose to do now? And when you start doing that on a consistent basis, your world changes. You can control all the information that comes in and comes out of you and take ownership of it. That's how simple this can be. But it's not that simple, because we have a lot of programming we have to declutter, right? And remove and release. But once you take that stance with yourself that you want to live an authentic life, and it's your world, right? This is what I can control. I can't control anything else. So weather manipulation, I don't know, maybe, possibly. Global warming, I don't know, maybe, possibly anything else, right? There's a million things it could be. But in this moment, I'm enjoying it, right? Because if there's something behind it that's low vibrational, it's not coming in. I don't allow it. So I'm just enjoying this what it is because I can't control the weather. I can control my weather through my cold exposure training, my internal temperatures, but it's really time to start seeing things for what they are, start seeing that there are negative lower vibrations out there, however they present themselves to you. See them. Don't fear them. Don't get angry with them. Say, I see you. I do not consent to you being in my now space. I send you away with love. It's that simple. And believe it. Stand confident. That's what the spiritual journey is all about. Is to gain confidence, trust, and faith in yourself. Not an idol, not a guru, not in your brothers and sisters and families. You. This journey is about you, finding you, and controlling what you can control in your now space. Only you can do that. If you choose to give it away, just make sure you're doing it consciously. That's it. Real simple message, but can be difficult. And if you are having difficulties, trying to dissimulate what's still holding you back and why things still trigger you, people like myself can help you. I'm a spiritual transformation coach. Here's the link to my website. Just hit me up for a free 30-minute decompression session. Just talk. It's not about if you decide you don't want to change, there's nothing I can do or say that's going to change you anyway, or nothing anybody's going to do to change you unless you allow it. But it starts with you. Make that decision. You're worth it. Really, start wanting to be more centered and not let so many things affect how you react and respond to your situation, because you're only adding fuel to the fire and it never turns out in your favor. But if you stand in your sovereignty and you make conscious choices, right, and holding love and light to whatever the situation is, everything works out. Everything works out for you. And as things work out for you, they're going to work for anything else that's in your world, be it family, friends. Now, along your journey, you may have lost family and friends, but the more you go deeper into yourself, you're going to get new family and friends, and some old family and friends may decide, hey, I agree with you now, I'm back, right? But you have to stand in your sovereignty and hold your boundaries and stay in control of what you can control, and that's this space, this now moment. So stay in control, stay cool, don't lose your your marbles over anything. It's not worth it. You're only cheating yourself, and you're giving other people the opportunity to control you. Take back control and have an amazing day.